Today, we are going to be talking about your sleep hormone and how you can be turning it on any shift schedule that you are on. I'm just going to super quick just double check that we are live. I had some tech issues getting in here, so just want to double check that I am live in the group. Facebook sometimes has its moments, so just give me 1 second, guys. Yep, we're good. Okay, so in the comments, tell me what shift do you struggle with the most? What shift is it? Day shift? Is it you guys sometimes call it second shift or afternoons, night shift? What shift do you guys find the toughest to be sleeping on? And for those of you with 24-hour shifts um, or more, tell me in the comments what your struggles are with those shifts on sleeping, and I can answer those for you today as well. So what we're going to dig into right now is, first off, let's dig into your sleep hormone and what is supposed to happen when you sleep. So when you are going to sleep, you are supposed to, your energy waking hormone, cortisol, is supposed to be lowering. And your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, is supposed to be raising. And as they do that, you start getting that tired feeling. Your brain is supposed to be calming down. And those thoughts are supposed to be going away. And you're supposed to get that kind of that groggy feeling, so that you can fall asleep. And that is more of your melatonin kicking in and your cortisol lowering. But what happens is, when most people are on a Monday to Friday schedule, is their body gets into a rhythm as to when this happens. But as I'll explain as well, this doesn't always work for them for certain reasons as well, which you'll notice maybe with your kids or your spouse as well, that does have a regular schedule. So the thing is that typically you're supposed to be in this routine where certain time at night, this always happens, that melatonin decreases or increases and your cortisol increases. But when you're on a rotating shift schedule, it gets to the point where your body doesn't know which end is up. It doesn't know when the melatonin is supposed to be increasing, when cortisol is supposed to be increasing or decreasing, especially since every time you're rushing to a call, that cortisol is also going off for every stress that happens on shift. So it gets absolutely out of whack. So there's a couple of things to note with that is, there's a lot of hacks that people have out there, and I'll go through some of those with you today. And they can work for you, but first, there's a couple of things that need to happen first. And that is where we need to support your hormones first in order to have them strong enough to even listen to these signals. So we're going to go through those today, but some of them, it doesn't matter how strong your hormones are. If you're still doing them, they will stop your melatonin. So the first one, the biggest one to dig into, is blue lights. So it's not always just screens. So you have tablets, your phone, your TVs, laptops, all of those. They emit a blue light. Also, the sun does. So quite often I hear struggles as well of people who are on a day shift schedule and they are trying to go to bed before the sun comes up, or night shift when you're coming home from night shift and you're driving as the sun's coming up. You're taking in blue lights then. And what you're also doing, though, is you're taking the blue lights if you're on your phone, if you sleep with your phone beside you. I know some of you have to because of the job if you're on call. If you are not on call, then if you could just get away with that one first, that would serve you, because blue lights, they can stop your melatonin from increasing for 2 hours. So if you stop, I usually stop at 8 o'clock at night is when I shut down my phone, unplug it, and put it away, because even if I leave it on, I'm still get pulled, because blue lights also, they trigger the dopamine in your brain. and it's a learning habit. So you keep getting that pull to want to be on your phone, and the more stressed you are, the less you're able to resist it. So you may find that you need to be commenting on posts all the time, and you need to be scrolling and liking posts, and you can't stop even if you tell yourself you're going to. So the thing to note though is, as you're doing that, it is going to take your body almost 2 hours. They say 1 to 2 hours to start turning on your melatonin. So the biggest thing from that is to make sure that you do decrease your blue lights beforehand. So devices, laptops, tablets, that's easy to do unless you have to work from home. When you're driving home from night shift or when you're sleeping on day shift, there's a couple of other things to do. One is glasses. So my husband, I know that this is also amazing for dispatchers. But my husband recently switched into emergency management logistics, and it is a lot of screen time. And so he doesn't wear glasses normally, but he went and got glasses that have a blue light coating. So a lot of you have insurance coverage. If you can get that for any times that you're on screens, it won't block them out completely. But if you have to be working before you go to bed, if you have to, then that is something that will help. Not completely, but it does make a big difference. And then as the sun's coming home, you can get these glasses. I would be cautious on Amazon because there's a lot of fakes out there, but if you can get these actual orange ones that supposedly block 100% of blue lights, and they also will cover more of your eyes. If it is safe for you, you may need to actually have your cortisol increasing on your drive home after nights if it's a long drive and you don't. And you could risk falling asleep. So be very cautious of that. But if you have a quick drive home, just before the sun starts coming up, click on these glasses. You can put on the ones like I have that are clear, that don't block 100% of blue lights, or you can get the ones that completely do block. They're more of a yellowy color. On night shift, you probably don't want to be doing this. But because you want to be staying awake and you don't want your melatonin kicking in. But there's ones with a green on it, and that helps with fluorescent lighting and stuff. So if you like all the street lights and different lights that are on there, those green ones will help with that. So getting those lights, if you're in dispatch, will make a huge difference, because dispatchers tend to, or anybody that's in surveillance in front of a lot of screens, they tend to find a really hard time earlier in their career than some others of being able to fall asleep. And that's because the melatonin just will not increase from all those blue lights. It also gets your body into a different stress state. So getting a blue light glass is huge. But turning off those blue lights within 2 hours. So when you do get home, turn your phone off in your car. And when you get into the house, just go and plug it in away from your bedroom. And that way, if you're coming from a night shift, and that way, when you go in, you can start your routine where you're keeping the lights low, especially when you're on a day shift and you're going to bed before the lights. We actually close the curtains on our main floor so that we don't have that blue light coming in from the sun. And we make sure that we have lights on in our house that are non-LED. We just have like a night lamp that gives enough light, but not enough to be affecting my husband's, to be affecting his melatonin from not being able to produce itself, to start turning on before he goes to sleep. So that's really important, is to really understand that those lights can make such a difference on your melatonin. And when you're on different shifts, it gets totally screwy. But if you get into that routine of decreasing your blue lights, decreasing the curtains before your day shift, or as soon as you come home from night shift, make sure that the curtains are still closed. Your spouse, get them to only open the curtains in the house once you've gone to sleep. In your bathroom as well, if you're waking mid-sleep, try to keep all the lights off going to the bathroom, and keep a night light on. And it sounds silly to have a night light on in the day, but if you have just a little bit of a night light, or if you don't need anything at all, if you can completely block the light coming in the windows, if you do have to go to the bathroom mid-sleep on night shift, that light will start stimulating that melatonin. It'll start decreasing your melatonin as well, and increasing your cortisol, your waking hormone. So trying to make sure that that pathway to the bathroom is as dark as possible is really, really important. There's a lot of other things that you guys have probably read about sleep routines, having a shower, blackout blinds in your room, keeping the temperature about 17, 18 degrees. I think that's 67, 75 for you guys in Fahrenheit. Keeping your room temperature cool. All of these things are amazing. But if you are not able to get that melatonin sleep hormone up and get that cortisol down, then none of those are going to help. Okay, so it's really important first to understand that if you are trying all of these things, if you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm doing all of this, I'm already turning off my screens, I'm already, I'm showering, I'm keeping it cool, I'm doing everything, I'm wearing a mask, I'm doing the lavender essential oils to help with the melatonin, or I'm doing melatonin and nothing's working. If that is happening to you, then that's telling you that your hormones are at a point of burnout, that they're not able to listen yet. Okay, so don't beat yourself up if that's happening. It's just telling you that your body's not there. I had a call yesterday with a gentleman in my program who he wants to do the steps. He wants to implement things, but the motivation and drive, not just in the program, but in everything in life, things he used to love to do, getting things done around the house, taking care of himself, all the things that he used to just love to do, he's really struggling with that motivation and drive. And so we need to get those hormones first realigned, get them all sorted and working enough to get him that boost and that support, so his motivation and drive comes back, and the hormones will then listen when we start implementing the steps. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, let me know, and we'll be able to get your hormones boosted if you want. This is the first thing that we do in my 911 Elite Performance Program. I can't give you specifics on what we do because it's individual for every different person. And so what one person needs to boost is different based on your symptoms. Are you in overdrive? Are you in burnout? Do you get anger really quickly? Are you somebody that is really calm? What other symptoms are you having? What prescriptions are you on? There's so many different things that we need to find out first before we can get you on the right path to get your hormones supported. So let us know if that's something that you would like help with, because we are more than willing to get you into the program and help you out if you are a candidate. But don't beat yourself up if that motivation and drive is so low that everything you're trying either isn't working or you're not able to keep up with it, because there is a reason for that, and it's not a problem with you. It's your stress management system asking for help and giving you signs. So we're here to support you, and know that there is support and we can help you reverse this. All right, any questions, let me know. Plop them in the comments here. You can always, if you just want, private message us, or you can email us support@911lifestyle.com. And everything is between us. Nothing is with your service, anybody else. It's absolutely confidential between us. So nobody will know what you are telling us. And we do deal with the physical symptoms. So we're here to help any way that we can. Just reach out, and we've got your back.